Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a story titled, I Broke My Marriage, Need Advice on How to Fix the Damage, or Is It Completely Destroyed? And guys, this story is written by a woman who's about 40 years old who completely torpedoed her marriage. The marriage that definitely seemed like it was, at least from the husband's point of view, he was doing everything he could as a good husband and all that, but it wasn't enough for her. And lo and behold, one day she decides that she wants to have an open marriage to spice up their relationship. In other words, she wanted to have it to spice up her life, not his. And to no surprise, guys, it doesn't exactly go very well for her. It doesn't exactly turn out very well for her. And now she's freaking out because she screwed everything up. And guess what? The husband doesn't want to be with her anymore. And it's interesting because I did a story like this back in July, where it was a very similar situation. A woman, she was obviously bored in her marriage. She had the hots for her boss at work, and her female coworkers, they were all either single or divorced, were egging her on to have an open marriage. She says it to the husband. She suggested it to him and basically manipulated him into agreeing. And of course, she's out there riding the carousel, having a good old time, but he's not really doing much of anything because it's much, much easier for a woman than it is for a guy. But he meets a woman, and they hit it off, and now he doesn't want to have anything to do with her. And she was freaking out. That was the story back in the summertime. This article is very, very similar, but there are some differences in here. But as I go through this, guys, you're going to see some things I want to point out to you. It's very important here. Number one, the level of manipulation she pulls to get her way is unbelievable. Okay, I've done a lot of stories. You guys know this, the ones you've been watching me for a while. The amount of manipulation and crap she pulls on him and to get her way is unbelievable here, okay? And it doesn't just stop with him. It also eventually goes on to her own children for her to get her way. No joke here. So I'm going to get into this, guys. You're going to see I'm talking about the whole thing, and it's amazing to me how things are in this day and age. I mean, I make it clear, my opinion on marriage in this day and age is just simply not going to work. It's just too much of a mess out there. So it starts off, this might be a long post. I'm a wreck right now and don't know what to do. Me, I'm a 40-year-old female, and my husband, 39-year-old male, married young, and we were each other's first. We've been married for nearly 18 years. We have 2 children, a 19-year-old girl and an 18-year-old boy, and both of them have moved out and are living their life. So she's 40 years old and he's 39, and they've been married for nearly 18 years. That means that they got married around the time that he was 21 and she was 22. And they were each other's first, and I'm going to guess maybe only in terms of lovers. Okay, I'm very skeptical on that, but let's just play devil's advocate here. But notice they had the kids very young. 19-year-old girl, 18-year-old male. So probably the girl was born before they were married. So it's very likely they rushed into the marriage because she had the kid. And no surprise, obviously, it isn't a great situation. I've told you guys countless times, if you're going to get married, I'm not recommending it how things are nowadays, but if you're going to do it anyway, guys, at least wait till you're older. Wait till you're like 30 years old, have a lot of life experiences, saved a lot of money, really get to know the world and human nature and all that, experience a lot of things, go for your goals and ambitions. And by 30 years old, you may realize, maybe I don't want to do this. But when you rush in that young, you're kids. You don't know shit about life in the world. Anyhow, goes on. Due to COVID, I lost my job in February and got a new one in August. During this time, my husband had to do much more work so that his job would be secured. So he was much more distant due to his job. In my new job, I developed a crush on my young male coworker, 25 years old, and started feeling excited. Nothing was wrong in our marriage, and I still don't know why I had those feelings for that guy. So, she loses her job in February when COVID was really starting out here. This is obviously in 2020. Obviously, it's all on the husband to take care of everything, take care of the bills, take care of all the responsibilities. So there's a lot of pressure on him. He's obviously working more. His mind's on the job because he's got to take care of business. And she's upset because he wasn't obviously not paying as much attention to her. And so look what happens. He's doing it right. He's obviously being a good husband, good guy. And now she gets the new job and she's having the hots for the guy in the office. She says here, I don't know why I had those feelings on that guy. I might be insecure myself. I started arguing with my husband for no reason and blamed him for everything that's wrong. At that time, I thought of every possible reason to be upset with my husband. As in our country, restrictions on COVID were removed in late August, so I started going out with my friends. I also started flirting with a young boy. So, she says here how she just started picking fights with her husband. Husband started arguing with him for no reason whatsoever, blamed him for everything. Here's what's going on. Here we go with the manipulation. She obviously is not happy for her own reasons. She obviously is having the hots for the guy in the office. So, to justify those feelings, she is picking fights with her husband, who's doing everything right and taking care of business at home in terms of the job and the bills and all that. She's picking fights with him on purpose so that they get into a fight, and then he obviously defends himself or lashes back. And that can justify her having feelings about the guy in the office, amongst other things. There you go. She's picking the fights on purpose. I've told you guys lots of times how women will do that. That they need drama. They're bored, so they need some drama, so they'll pick fights. Or they're bored. They're bored, so they want to just stir things up. I just said that, the drama. Or there could be something else going behind the scenes, like another guy. And if they pick a fight, then you fight back, and they got an excuse to break it up with you, or at least to cheat. I'm not kidding. That's why I tell you guys, don't apologize. When women start bullshit out of nowhere and you know it's bullshit and pick fights and drama and they want you to obviously react, number one, don't give them that satisfaction of fighting with them and carrying on, but certainly don't apologize for a bunch of crap that they say you did that you certainly did not do. No way. She continues, in early September, I suggested open marriage to spice up our relationship. Bullshit. It's an excuse for her to go hook up with the dude in her office and other guys. Spice up the relationship, my ass. It's so she can have it spiced up, not the husband. I told him that I wanted to have fun and suggested him to do the same. I told him that our 20s and 30s went by just looking upon kids, and now we should try and enjoy ourselves. Yeah, but make sure that she still is in the marriage so she can have him be here to take care of the bills and the expenses. And she knows darn well it's going to be way easier for her to get guys than it is going to be for him. That's just how it is, okay? And unless the guy is a super successful, a lot of money, a lot of game, but he's obviously your average Joe here. But she had this planned out before, as I told you, with the fighting and the things with the guy in the office and all that. It's all on purpose. He was completely against it. He said that our marriage is not a joke and a special bond between the two of us. At that time, I was having a different mindset and told him how he had to change with a new lifestyle and how old-fashioned he is. In other words, she is now insulting him and making him feel old and old-fashioned, manipulating him to get what she wants. He was still against it, so I started manipulating him and threatening divorce. He finally agreed to our open relationship. Bad idea. Guys, if you are married and you are watching this and your wife wants to have an open relationship, it's done, okay? She's checked out. And I guarantee you, if she has brought this up already, there is another dude in the picture. Guaranteed. In fact, there can be multiple guys in the picture. Do not fall for it. I'm sorry if it happens to you, but it is going to get worse, because if you agree to this, aside from the fact of just torpedoing your dignity, she's going to go out there and there's going to be other dudes hooking up with your wife. Okay? End it. Move on. You can say, hey, you want to hook up with many dudes? Go right ahead. We're done. I'm out of here. Even if you got to take the hit financially, move on. Have some pride. Have some dignity. But this guy, she's obviously very good at manipulating him. He obviously is not as strong as he should be. But we'll see. You'll see he makes his comeback later on. But that's what happens. She says, for our first month, I hooked up with that guy and had several one-night stands. My husband also started dating, but he never slept with anyone. See what I'm talking about? In October, and this is this past October, so we're talking a few months ago. In October, I started realizing that most men never took care of my needs and pleasure. My husband was the only one who took care of my needs. Gee, did she figure out that those guys wanted to pump and dump and that's it? I mean, she is 40 years old after all. They're not going to try to settle down and they're not going to care about her needs in the bedroom. It's pump and dump. That's it. but that's what she wanted. She says, my husband was the only one who took care of my needs. The idea of sleeping with other men was short-lived, and I stopped it. I started having sex with my husband again, and it felt great. We were still dating other people. He was dating his high school friend and also had several sexual encounters with her after a month of dating. I started feeling jealous because of him dating her and sleeping with her. Oh, no. This was her idea. She's the one that openly admits in this article, manipulated him about all this, threatened divorce, all this stuff so she could get her way. She's got no reason to complain, no reason to do the waterworks and try to get any pity out of this. You make your bed and you're lying, sweetheart, okay? And not to mention all the fights that she admitted that she was picking on purpose to lead things down this path. In mid-November, I suggested to once again close our marriage and be monogamous. He was adamant that he would not do it. We had lots of fights. We argued a lot, but he didn't change his decision. You make your bed and you lie in it. He was still going over to her house and spending nights over there. This situation was like a torture to me. I had to spend night alone in our marital home, on our marital bed, knowing that he was with another woman and was entertaining her. On November 28th, I tried to end my life because the emotional trauma was exceeding its limits. I was rushed to the hospital by my husband, and this led to a change in him by his decision. He now agreed to close our marriage again. I was a bit relieved. So, I told in the beginning of the article, guys, about her manipulation and going to great lengths to get her way. So, she tried, I'm going to say, tried to end her own life because of all this, okay? Let me tell you something, guys, and this is something I know about very, very well. If somebody truly wants to end it all, they'll do it, okay? If they don't do it, but if they do some actions that would eventually lead to them passing away. I have to watch what I say here on YouTube, no joke. They know they're going to get attention. They know they're going to get pity. It'll be seen as a cry for help. Trust me on this. So believe me, if she really wanted to end it all, she would have. But she did just enough to get us scared, to have her rushed to the hospital, and she knew darn well this guy, who obviously is a good guy, would end the open marriage. And that's exactly what she got. She's a piece of work. I thought we would recover pretty quickly from this phase of life. But hell, I was wrong. He still thought about her. He even bought her a gift for her birthday. He wanted to go to her house to give her the present. But I agreed to let him go to the house on the condition that I would be going with him. All right, that's really awkward. We arrived at her house. Her house was pretty big and looked really expensive. We arrived at the door and she opened the gate. She took the gift and gave a huge hug to my husband in front of me. I got pissed and wanted to leave. She invited us for drinks, but I refused and we came back home. Last night when we were having sex and he was just about to climax, he finished off while saying her name. I was pissed about it. I felt humiliated and was angry that he was thinking about her during sex also. He was also sorry for this, but said that he's still confused regarding her. He ended up sleeping on the couch. This morning he said that he cannot live like this. He wanted some space from me and that he would be moving out for some days to clear his mind. I agreed to it because I had no other option. In the afternoon, my friend sent me a picture of him at her house. She lives nearby and saw him at her door. I was devastated and called him. He answered and told me that we were on a break so we could see other people. I bet you she told her friend to basically look out the window and wait so she can get pictures. I would not put it past her. It's been 5 hours and I'm a wreck right now. He's not able to forget her and is ruining our relationship. No. You ruined the relationship. You ruined it. You ruined it with all your manipulation, all your games, all your bullshit, and of course, wanting to have the open marriage. Okay? All this stuff is on you, lady. Okay? You're not getting any pity. You're not... Not here. I know that I already destroyed most of the marriage, but now I'm going to do anything to fix it. I've written everything unbiasedly so that you can give me some advice. I literally don't know what I'm writing and seeking from writing here, but I cannot share this with our children. I realize how much he loved me unconditionally, and I don't want to throw away our 20 years together. Any advice on how to make him change his decision? As I said before, you make your bed, you lie in it. That is how life works. She cannot go from all the manipulation and the games to wanting to have the open marriage, hooking up with all these other dudes, getting it out of her system, and then he's obviously really hurt by this. He didn't want to do it. Remember, this was her idea. He didn't want to do it, and he fought against it. But still, she kept manipulating him with divorce and insulting him and all that. And finally then, he finds someone that makes him happy, at least temporarily, makes him happy, he's having a good time with, makes him feel wanted and loved for who he is, because he's not getting that at home. She's threatened by this. Now she wants to close the marriage, and she has the audacity to whine and complain and expect pity for all this. She's out of her damn mind. But let's just say she was paying me for a response. What I would say she should do, I would say, number one, tough shit, lady. But you make your bed, you lie in it. But if you ever want to fix this, she would have to back away completely and say, I screwed up, and I understand, and da-da-da-da. And that way then, if he chooses to come back with her, fine. If he doesn't, he doesn't. End of story. But the odds are someone like this, that's not going to work out that way. The way she handles things, obviously, is to manipulate the situation and go to any length possible to get what she wants. And so with this guy here, I guarantee you she's going to continue to manipulate and do anything she can. You saw before that she, faked, trying to end her life. What the hell else is she going to do? I would not put it past her to do some really even worse stuff. Okay? This guy needs to get as far away from her as possible, to be honest here. She's a train wreck. And I'm going to now do an update where you're going to see that she then doesn't just manipulate the husband, she also manipulates the kids to get what she wants. So the update is, since the last post, most of you have bashed me over my bad choices, and I know I deserve this. She was getting hammered about this. It's been 3 days, and my husband has not contacted me. Yesterday, our kids came home for Christmas weekend. They had asked me about their dad. I have told them that we had a fight and he is staying at a hotel. They then called him to request him to come home. He picked up the phone and the kids told him he should not be behaving like this and he should not ruin their Christmas because of our small fights. He hung up the phone about an hour ago and called me. So instead of coming clean about this, not necessarily about the whole situation, because that's a long story to tell your kids, but at the very least, we got into a fight. She should at least said it was my fault and all that. But no, she is orchestrating it in a way that obviously he's the bad guy and the kids are mad at him. See? He says, he said that if I didn't come clean about my infidelity to our kids, there'd be no chance that he would come home on Christmas. I'm in a troubled situation. If I come clean, the kids would go to their father and he will manipulate them, and I'd be alone for Christmas if I don't come clean. I would spend my Christmas with my kids, but later on they will find out the truth and would blame me for the absence of their father on Christmas. So she's saying that if she comes clean and tells the kids what happened, then they're going to obviously realize, what she's really like. They're going to go to him and he'll be honest with them about what happened. And she's saying that, he'll manipulate the kids against me. It doesn't stop. What have I told you guys about a leopard not changing their spots, right? They don't, okay? Generally speaking, people don't change. You think this guy would be crazy enough to go back with her after all this? He'd be out of his damn mind because it's not going to stop. And even if like they had a closed marriage and she wasn't sleeping with anybody else, all the manipulation, all the tactics she uses to get her way, good Lord. Guys, does this sound like a fun situation to you? Does this sound like a situation you'd like to have in your life? Well, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that the second when you start to think you really want to settle down with one person the rest of your life, okay? I'm not saying that all women are like this, but I'm telling it out to this degree. But women do manipulate. Women do pull bullshit. And in how things are in this day and age, it is almost celebrated that women jerk guys around like this and manipulate them and all this. It's unbelievable. And you guys know I'm talking about from the many articles and videos I've done on this subject, and the plenty of articles and videos that other channels have done on this subject. But this guy be out of his damn mind. But she has the nerve to like be looking for pity and wanting help to get this guy back. You're out of your mind. But I really hope this guy, obviously 100%, he's done with her, because it's unbelievable. Talk about being selfish. But anyhow, guys, that is it for this particular story. I'm going to closely watch this to see if there are any more updates I would like to see. I'd love to find out that the guy said, that's it, I'm out of there completely, and divorces her and moves on, because this was a good guy. She completely torpedoed the marriage and ruined the whole thing. And God knows what she was like up until this point, but it's a mess. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.